Hello, and a very warm welcome to the Sussex Daily News Channel. This video, we give you a piece of breaking news. The Queen stripped Harry and Meghan's HRH title for not trusting them, but they're still cashing in on royal family status with U.S. deals. Today, it has been revealed Queen Elizabeth reportedly asked Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to drop their royal HRH titles, as she does not trust the royal couple after they announced the step down. Royal author Robert Lacey claimed the Queen does not trust Prince Harry and Meghan, who are officially called Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and asked the royal couple to drop their HRH after they stepped down from their royal duties. But, according to the author, it was not clear exactly why the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were not stripped of their royal titles, but he claims Queen Elizabeth does not trust them using the HRH titles. But it seems that is not enough to deter the couple when, according to the CEO of Republic, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are still using their royal family titles and status to cash in on lucrative deals. The Republic's CEO, Graham Smith, told Express.co.uk that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have failed to make a clean break from the royal family and should renounce their titles in order to be private citizens. During the same interview, Mr. Smith called for Meghan Markle and Prince Harry to disclose the amount of rent they are paying to keep Frogmore Cottage, despite being based in the United States. Mr. Smith said, quote, "Whether or not they have the Netflix deal, they should not be remotely reliant on even £1 a year from the UK taxpayer. They should just stop taking anything at all off the UK taxpayer. The fact that they have gotten this deal, I can't imagine why Netflix thinks it's a good idea, but good for them if that's what they are doing. The problem is that they haven't made a clean break. They still want to cash in on their status and on their titles as Duke and Duchess." He added, "Ultimately, when they walked away from the royal family at the beginning of the year, they should have said, 'We are going to be private citizens. We are going to work for our own money, whether that's in media, film, charity work, and we will no longer be the Duke and Duchess or royals, and we are just going to go it alone.' But they are trying to have it both ways. Part of this deal is cashing in on their status and titles. That is not really appropriate." Meanwhile, according to Daniela Elzer, Meghan Markle's approach to royal life irritated Prince Philip. In his 70 years on the royal job, unveiling plaques and dutifully walking several paces behind his wife, perhaps his greatest gift to the world has been the steady stream of gaffes, verging from the charmingly antiquated to the downright racist. He continues the article this week, despite being 99 years old and having stayed resolutely out of the public spotlight. One Land Rover-related snafu notwithstanding, Philip and his unfiltered approach to public life are back in the news. Later this month, longtime royal biographer and Majesty magazine editor-in-chief Ingrid Seward will release a biography Prince Philip revealed, a man of his century. As is the way with these projects, Seward has been hitting the publicity trail, and extracts from the book have been trickling out in the UK press. A quick refresher. Philip was a highly successful and decorated naval officer in his own right when he wed the then Princess Elizabeth in 1947. However, quit in 1952 to support his wife when she ascended to the throne. A remarkable bit of proto-feminism given the gender politics of the time. Fast forward to 2020, and according to Seward, Philip was left irritated when the House of Windsor's most recent and briefest recruit, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, failed to make the same sacrifice that he had. I think he's very, very disappointed because I think he feels he gave up his naval career in order to stand by the Queen and help the monarchy, Seward told ITV this week. And why can't Meghan just give up her acting career, support her husband, and support the monarchy? As he used to say to Diana, Seward said, "This is not a popularity contest. This is all of us working together." And therein, Philip, for all his indiscreet howlers and casual prejudice, might have just hit the nail on the head with these two words, a popularity contest. To be royal is to theoretically subsume one's ego and fall into the HRH rank and file, any notion of individual brand or popularity forgotten in the service of Her Majesty. That is, to be royal is to put the institution first and is not about aggressively competing to be the most liked HRH in the land. This, in turn, stands in direct contrast to the way the Sussexes allegedly viewed the importance of their own public acclaim. One of the points that came out from Finding Freedom, the recent sympathetic biography about the duo, was that Harry and Meghan seemed to believe there was some sort of direct correlation between their own celebrity and how they allegedly felt they should be treated behind palace gates. In Finding Freedom, according to the narrative put forth by the book, the vast adoration for the Duke and Duchess was viewed by the wider royal machine with unease. Per Freedom, quote, the Sussexes have made the monarchy more relatable to those who had never before felt a connection. However, there were concerns that the couple should be brought into the fold. Otherwise, the establishment feared their popularity might eclipse that of the royal family. What is interesting is the couple's alleged relentless focus on popularity and the belief that others inside Brand Windsor similar viewed it as a threat of sorts. And this is where we come back to Philip. For nearly 70 years, he has understood intrinsically that his job is to support the Queen. Because in the royal scheme of things, every single person whose face is not on the £5 note, their job is to pluckily get up every day and go out into the world and do their darndest to sell the idea of a hereditary monarchy. There are no co-stars or special guest appearances in the royal cast. Rather, there are two tiers, the Queen and then everyone else, albeit with varying degrees of seniority. Looking back over the past 2 and a bit years, accepting that B-string role seems to have been a sticking point for both Harry and Meghan. In hindsight, there seems to have been some sort of disconnect between their expectations and reality, a disconnect that still seems evident today. This week, Meghan spoke as part of Fortune's Most Powerful Women Summit from her Santa Barbara mansion, encouraging participants to, quote, focus on living a purpose-driven life and don't listen to the noise. What is interesting about those comments is that having the philanthropic drive and being willing to tune out the persistent hum of external disapproval are exactly the key attributes required of senior members of the royal family. It would seem to not only survive, but thrive in that strange, closeted world of palacedom, you need to be a person with both a burning desire to help the world and a certainly studied deafness around the persistent criticism that is part and parcel of the job. Imagine if both she and Harry had taken these very sentiments to heart when they were still frontline members of the House of Windsor. If they had seen and accepted that to be a working member of the royal family wasn't about trouncing other family members in the popularity stakes, but about falling into line and all pulling in the same direction, personal acclaim be damned. Would it have helped them see a way forward as working royals? Would it have helped them to accept that despite the fact they were clearly the glittering stars in the royal firmament, that the deeply hierarchical nature of the institution meant that they would have to accept second or third place on occasion? It's not hard to wonder what could have been. However, before we defy Philip with oracle status quite yet, there's more. During the same UK interview, Seward said that the prince, quote, just cannot understand why she couldn't support Harry and help him rather than wanting to have her voice. The fact that Philip allegedly thinks that supporting her husband necessitates staying resolutely mute means that the man desperately needs someone to download him the Ruth Bader Ginsburg documentary, Quick Sticks. When it comes to the royal family, their global renown is often conflated with the more bog-standard Hollywood version fame, but I don't think that the royalty has much to do with celebrity. Rather, the royal family is far, far more akin to an army regiment, replete with uniform, oodles of rules, and an absolutely transparent pecking order. And to succeed in this context is to accept this fundamental truth. After years in the military, including 2 tours on the front line in Afghanistan, maybe Harry had had enough of dutifully taking orders. And for Meghan, maybe after nearly 20 years of hard professional graft, she wanted to bask, briefly at least, in the fact that she finally had a global platform to make her voice heard. According to Seward, admonitions about popularity were something that Philip used to offer Diana, a woman whose complicated psychology meant she needed far more than blunt lecturing from the paterfamilias. Say, like, the occasional hug. Maybe he meant well. Maybe he just wanted to help her. There is something so deeply tragic about the House of Windsor getting 2 charismatic, driven women to marry into the family, only for them to have absolutely no idea how to help them find their place in such an alien world. Diana, like Meghan decades later, might not have understood that popularity theoretically has no place in the royal dynamic. But did the palace do enough to help them? Did the palace do enough to help them see? I think the proof is in the postal address. Harry and Meghan's is now more than 8,000 kilometers away from Buckingham Palace. And you? Do you agree with this opinion? Please let me know in the comment section below and we can discuss them together. Please like and share my video for anyone you think will love it like you. And don't be afraid to subscribe to the Sussex Daily News team to get more video news. Now good night and see you tomorrow.